Welcome back to This African Perspective. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about how are people affording life right now? How are you doing? Are you doing okay? Are you feeling all right? How is life treating you? Are you good? Because we need to ask this question, because what if you're there down and you're down and out and just depressed? Or maybe, who knows, you're living your best life, you're happy, maybe you're on a vacation somewhere in an island, just sitting on a yacht. Who knows? But anyways, we know that there's like a serious inflation and many people are actually struggling to survive because of this high inflation is really causing a lot of chaos because it's serious poverty, straight up poverty. That is what is going on right now. Walking debtors. I mean, you can go out on the street, right? And you can be pointing and be guessing this person owes debt, this person owes debt, this person owes, and you'll be right. It's not even a lie. And they're just walking around. Everybody's just trying to keep their head high and not try to sink because this poverty is beating us. Okay. But anyways, before we get right into the video, make sure you please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, okay? And for those who have subscribed to my channel, I really appreciate you guys and I love you guys so much. I appreciate the support. For you all, please, that haven't done that, please make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. And be welcome to leave your thoughts in the comment section by the end of this video. I mean, you can vent all the way. This is a good space for you. Let's get right into the video.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
We're not. Truth of the matter, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck with credit card debt. I know people who are legitimately putting gas and groceries on credit cards just so that they can get back and forth to work. I believe that this is what most people are now calling the silent depression. $100 has become the new $20 and it's ridiculous, but the best thing about it is that people have shifted their core values. Look at this app alone and all the videos of all the retailers on Black Friday that nobody was there. They just don't care anymore. People are realizing that if it doesn't bring value into my life, then I don't need it. And while I don't get political on this app, you're having people on both sides of the aisles going, yeah, this kind of sucks. Right wing, left wing, it doesn't matter. It's the same bird. And now so many Americans are going, I don't care. I think it's woken a lot of people up to the idea of why are we funding things that we don't care about when all of us right here are struggling. It's changed the people's attitude in the workforce to where a job is just a job. You used to be very loyal to a job, but they've seen that there's no employee loyalty because there's no employer loyalty. People aren't putting up with toxic bosses anymore. You're either going to treat me right or I'm going to leave because there's tons of companies that are hiring because nobody can find help. People just don't trust the system anymore and they're starting to focus on what matters the most. Most people are out here making more money than they ever have and realizing that it's not going anywhere. So they're just not spending it. And what has made a lot of people turn their back on the system is that now they somehow either make too much or not enough money to qualify for the government assistance that they've been paying into their entire life. There are people out there who can't afford to buy the groceries, but they make too much money to get the food stamps. A lot of people are out here calling it the depression. I like to call it the awakening. People are just realizing how much they can get done on their own and that they don't need the government to hold their hand. So to go back to your question, how are people making it? Financially, I don't really know, but I'm very grateful that people are starting to look for answers.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
We're filing bankruptcy. And at this point with the American economy, we're not ashamed anymore. Like for so many years, I knew the only thing, I just heard so many negative things about bankruptcy, but never the good side about it. I was always told that it's going to be on my credit for 7 to 10 years. I would not have a place to stay. I would not be able to have a car, a job, none of this stuff because I heard so many negative things about bankruptcy. But no one really ever told me the good things about bankruptcy until I filed in 2020 at the age of 28. And that's when I didn't tell anyone that I was filing bankruptcy because I had $50,000 worth of debt that I could no longer afford with how the economy was going, the pandemic happening. And looking back now, if I still had that debt plus more in 2023, I would not be surviving. The amount of stress-free that I am right now in this economy, thank God, because I filed bankruptcy 3 years ago. People never talk about the good side of filing bankruptcy of, hey, you're getting rid of that debt, especially in the chapter 7 that I did. You're getting rid of that debt. You're able to get a fresh start. You're able to rebuild your credit. I'm now able to have a clearer vision of what I want my life to be like in the near future, because I no longer have to worry about, hey, I have to now worry about still paying this debt of $50,000 for the next 7 to 10 years. No, I filed a chapter 7. I got rid of that $50,000 worth of debt in 3 months. And now I'm able to have better financial goals that I'm able to reach sooner because I stopped listening to what other people say. So if you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, or you have questions, please comment down below. But that's how the majority of us are living now, because yes, we have credit card debt, but so many of us are tired of it that we're filing bankruptcy. And we're
People affording life right now.
We can't afford life. So we've just stopped. We've just stopped buying things, which is delightful because the companies don't know what to do about that. I think it's important to remember that our previous generations, our parents, they were able to do things like get a credit card with like a 2 and 3% interest rate. So they could do things like live above their means a little bit because they knew at some point they were going to get that 2 or 3% annual raise and then be able to pay off that debt. We don't have that. We don't have that. So companies are still operating under the assumption that people are willing to go into debt. No, we already have our debt. You have an entire generation of people who have entered their 30s and 40s with tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt that they will never repay because it's at a 7% compounding interest rate. We're not going to put things on our 24% interest rate credit cards. We're not going to do it. So we're not living. We are surviving. And we are finding new ways to define success. And we are building communities, and we're staying home, and we're going to our local libraries, and we are just hand making things, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Like this year, my Christmas present to my family is the plane ticket.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
I ask myself the very same question every single day. Cada día de Dios, I ask myself, how are people affording to just exist right now? At the national level, we know that credit card debt is at an all-time high. We know that savings for the average person that lives in the US are at an all-time low, and the cost of living everywhere has gone up dramatically. But locally, as someone who lives in Miami, Florida, I want to give a special perspective as to how bad things are economically right now in this area, and how Miami is the epitome of this collapsing economy that we're going through right now. A couple days ago, Bloomberg reported that Miami's inflation ranks highest in the entire United States of America. In the month of October, Miami's annual inflation rate was at 7.4%, the highest of the U.S. metro areas tracked by the Bureau of Labor, and more than double the national average. By comparison, Phoenix and Atlanta, two other inflation hotspots last year, have seen their rates drop to roughly 3%. I know some people may say, oh yeah, but inflation's raging everywhere, things are expensive everywhere, everything's relative. Okay. Let's bring up the hot topic that everyone in Miami always tells you, la renta, the rent, the prices that are through the roof. The index for rents in the Miami metro area increased 12.9%, almost 13% during the last year, compared with the 7.2% US average. Don't forget to factor in how expensive car insurance is in the state of Florida right now. It's absolutely through the roof. What it costs to own a home, how all the insurance companies that try to insure homes have left the state. O sea, things are terrible right now here, guys. The average wage of somebody that lives in the city of Miami is only $48,000. Average rent in an apartment per month in Miami is somewhere around $2,400. You want to buy a house? The average mortgage payment that somebody pays in this city is $3,000. So tell me, how is the average person paying their car note, paying car insurance, paying for groceries, for rent, for everything, everyone's personal expenses? How are people surviving? I honestly cannot be able to tell you. The only thing that I know is that I just know that a lot of people live 7, 8, 9 deep in a home that's probably for less people in order to make ends meet. And it's the only way we're trying to survive out here in this economy. But things are terrible, especially in Miami.
And some people will be advising you, telling you that you should go and live in the middle of nowhere because maybe that place is cheaper than cities. A lot of cities are very expensive. We know that. But the problem is if a person go and live in the middle of nowhere and they are not working remote, how on earth do you expect them to get a job? They should get a job with the trees. Maybe the trees will hire them. Maybe the trees will be their business, and then they'll get paid by the trees. So just imagine, like, we need to be thinking sometimes before we give some advice.
How are people affording life right now?
I want to talk about this because this is a little crazy to me, and it's just from my perspective. So I'm making the most I've ever made in my life, which is $50,000 a year salaried. So I have in the background here is my monthly spending, monthly income. I make about $1,248 every 2 weeks. So after taxes and insurance, that's what it comes to, about $2,500 a month. My rent and utilities, because I have to pay for utilities, is about, $1,320 to $1,350. My car payment, $420. I know that sounds like a lot. I have a good car. It's reliable. I'll drive it into the ground. I'm really not upset about that. Car insurance, about $200 because I'm under 25, so it's a little more expensive. Renter's insurance, $12. Pet insurance, $45. Electricity, $40. Wi-Fi, $35. And then some subscriptions here that, I just have because I enjoy them, right? What's life if you can't enjoy some things? So I spend about $2,100 a month, and I have about $300 left over. Now, the bottom here is where we really just kind of get into some crazy things. I try to only spend $200 a month on groceries, $60 on gas, and $30 on pet stuff. So I have a dog and a cat. I separate those from groceries. So, litter, dog food, cat food, stuff like that. $30 a month. But it's just absolutely insane because after all this, how much do I have left over? $10. I have $10 left over. I don't really understand how, all these boomers and these older people are telling you just budget better, just do this, this, and this. I'm like, this is already my bare minimum budget. It's not like I'm buying coffee every day. It's not like I'm doing all these things that they tell you to stop doing. And yet I have $10 at the end of each month. So I think it's just absolutely crazy that, I want to buy a house in the future, but how the hell am I going to do that if I have $10 at the end of each month? And I'm in grad school. I have, student loan debt. I have some credit card debt. So I'm paying at least the credit cards off, monthly too. But I haven't started paying my student loans back. So how am I supposed to do this on this salary, which is the average American salary, probably honestly above the average American salary? So it just comes down to what system have we created in society? It just doesn't make sense, and it's not, sustainable for people. You have these people who spend 2-3 years worth of my own salary on a single birthday party for their kids, or a single vacation because they can, or a third boat. It's just absolutely insane, and I don't understand why people really try to diminish the experience of a regular person just simply because of the 1% that are just making life seem so easy. But I think it's just the systematic approach that we're just not taking, and it's debilitating, and we're gonna see things just keep getting worse. And until there is some huge systematic change, none of these things are going to get better.
Yet some people still tell him to go and live a minimal lifestyle, that he should live according to his own means, that maybe his rent is too much. I'm just guessing because I think there are a lot of people who love to do that. But the thing is, now for this guy, I don't know, if somebody is working, there's just nothing normal about the way most of us, our lifestyles are, because there's no way, if there's this is actually something that was actually created, a situation of inflation that was created by people who are being careless, the government that do not care about us at all, because yet they'll say there's no money, but the money keeps going to other places, other places that fit their selfish interest. So imagine that kind of situation. Why would you go and be working and then be living a life that just looks like somebody that is actually not working? You are the same with a person that is not working. You're just literally working to pay bills consistently. You have no savings. You have nothing left at the end of the day. Yet you're not even living a luxurious lifestyle. Yet you're not even living a normal average lifestyle. You are beneath average. So there's just nothing normal about it.
How are people affording life right now?
No, because let's talk about it. Do you want to know how little my life has changed since I went from making $60K a year to over $100K? People keep asking me, oh my gosh, what designer bag are you going to get first? Or where are you traveling to first? You know what I can afford now? Therapy. Taking my cats to the vet. I can afford to go to the local butcher and the farmer's market versus going to a No Frills or a Food Basics. I can afford new glasses, and I can afford to go to the dentist. I can pay more than just the minimums on my credit card debt. It's so crazy to me that these things are what's costing me more money and I can actually afford them. This stuff should be accessible to everyone. Like, everyone should get access to fresh produce and going to therapy and like getting glasses, taking your pets to the vet. In my opinion, the things that I'm spending my money on is not part of like a lifestyle inflation. It is just genuine basic necessities that I think everybody deserves access to. It's so crazy to me that as a kid, I dreamed of making six figures. Like, having a six-figure corporate job was my absolute fucking dream. And now I'm realizing like 100K does not take you far at all.
You have no shame in talking about how poor you are and broke you are. You know, I would say maybe a few years back, like sometimes, you know, when they ask you and they're like, oh, how you doing? You just pretend, or you just be like, oh, I'm good. And then to actually be very broke and poor, it's kind of like a thing of shame, because why do you not have any money? Now, I tell you, be proud, because everybody is. Some of them, the ones that are not, they are lying. Some people are pretending, but let's be real, okay? Be proud of the situation that a lot of people are in that situation. You're not the only one in it. When they ask you, say, I'm broke, I am poor. But manifest good things, okay? Manifest good things. Say, I am rich in spirit, but physically I'm in the wrong situation, okay? That's it for this video, you guys. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. I really appreciate you. And if you're new to the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel before you leave, okay? Make sure you're subscribed. And for those of you who are already subscribed, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you click the like button, hit the notification bell to get notified every time I post a new video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.